Hey, real quick, John, what are you going to do about that? You're a YouTube TV guy, right?
Yeah.
Are you going to get an alternate subscription for the weekend?
Well, so I do subscribe to the whole Disney, Hulu, ESPN trifecta, and so I'll be able to.
You'll just go through that.
Okay. But it's such a pain in the butt. And I woke up this morning, like I do. I go through my routine. I got my cup of coffee. I sit down before I put on one sock and shoe. Put on the other sock and shoe. I'm watching. I want to know what went on after I went to bed last night. No Sports Center, and I thought that's weird because normally if you're a YouTube TV user, your most common ones pop up right away.
Yep.
And I thought, well, I'll just go to the guide and scroll down through because I have set up how I want it. I scroll down through all the NFL Sunday tickets. I'm like, wait a second, where's ESPN? It's gone. Like I had no idea that's how I was going to wake up this morning, and maybe I missed some type of news bulletin that this was coming.
They've got basically all the big games in college football this weekend are on ABC, ESPN, family networks, including College Game Day and then Monday Night Football. So it's I don't think you're getting a solution quickly.
Yeah.
You hope you get one quickly, but man, tomorrow, have to figure it out.
Yeah, but it's like a game on Peacock, right? You got to go to a different app now.
Yeah.
And it's because you want to see what's going on all the other channels.
So you may do like people who aren't you, they may do a trial of Hulu or ESPN Plus this weekend if they want to watch their game.
Yeah, and hopefully they have one of those 7-day trials and
yeah,
settles in 7 days.
All right, so there's that for people. You heard it in the update. Lions coming off the bye. Mm-hmm. What do you want to see from the Lions as they get back after it against the Vikings?
Well, some of it is J-Mo. Like, I'd like to see him be a bigger part of the offense. I don't think it's a necessity that he has to have 4 targets or 6 targets, whatever the number people want to set on it. But it goes to the offense. I want the offense to be more consistent. And I want it to be what we saw against Baltimore, what we saw against the Cincinnati Bengals, because you can say whatever you want about their offense. They do a nice job of pressuring the quarterback. Maybe Cincinnati doesn't do a great job of not letting you score points, and neither did Baltimore throughout the course of this year. But I wanted the offense to look and feel like that against Minnesota.
The last 2 games the Lions played, the offense left something to be desired. Mm-hmm. They only scored 7 points in the second half against the Chiefs, and against Tampa, they left so many drives stalled out at the middle of the field. Yeah, I think the offense is the emphasis. But I don't think it needs to be an emphasis on J-Mo. Like, I don't think you need to script him 2 or 3 touches on the opening possession or require Goff to take 2 or 3 deep shots in the first half. What I don't want to do is get in the business of trying to feed a player who's not even publicly complaining to prove some point about breakout seasons.
Right.
Like John Morton said he's going to have a breakout year. Statistically, he's not. Don't force it, because, John, if he catches 2 balls for 12 yards and they win by 2 touchdowns, I'm not going to have anything to complain about.
I've talked to a lot of offensive coordinators as a player, and then also on this side of things, because I have some relationships with them, and I don't like coordinators that calls plays to make a point. It does a disservice to the team if you're sitting there going, "Hey, you know what? This defense, they're not great against the pass." And for 4 quarters, I'm going to keep hammering that we have to be able to throw the ball. We should against this team. No, if the game plan changes after the first quarter, after the opening drive, and you're like, hey, they're not stopping this run, then let's run the damn ball until they do, and then we'll come back and see if we can get some of these other concepts going. I don't, and a lot of times you hear that and feel that from young coordinators. I'm a little disappointed to hear this from John Morton, simply because I don't see him as a young football mind.
Yeah, you don't want to get into the game plan, and Minnesota's playing too high shell coverage.
Yeah.
And let's say they're winning on the edges, and you can't even set up the deep shots. Well, there's plenty of other opportunities to exploit the defense. What you don't want to do is like publicly declare that this is the way you have to move the ball.
Right. So, okay, he can make this public declaration. Hey, I did you a disservice. I failed you. Now it's a matter of what does he call while the game is going on. It doesn't mean he's going to call the game this way.
No, but now if they don't get him involved,
oh, sure, there'll be people up in arms. I don't care. Yeah, just come away with a good win.
Thank you. But my point is you could do this conversation to J-Mo one-on-one. If you personally feel like, hey, man, I think you are a huge part of this offense and we haven't seen it, and I am going to dial some stuff up for you. But when you publicly put it out there, it just felt unnecessary. I don't want to turn this into a bigger deal than it is.
I thought the comment could have been, well, sure, J-Mo, if the question is, do you feel like you could have got J-Mo the ball more or you should get him the ball more? I would just say J-Mo is a game breaker. We would love to get him the ball more. It just hasn't played out that way. Or we get if we get our shot to go downfield, J-Mo's going to be the guy.
Well, let's play exactly what he said, just so people understand. This is John Morton.
What's the problem with that?
Well, he couched his comments a little bit like, hey, we had some of those things called, and whether it was maybe golf just didn't see him. Okay, you don't see 100% of the field 100% of the time.
We had the one game with the drops,
right?
Yeah,
or it could just be, hey, we had him wide open, but Giovanni Manu gave up a sack or a pressure.
Yeah.
So me reading into all this, I think Morton is talking about like the short game with J-Mo. I think they're using him too much in an intermediate and deep routes, and they've neglected the potential end arounds. That J-Mo, they're not utilizing J-Mo's speed in the short game.
Get him on a crossing route and just let him run away from the defense with the ball in hand.
So they need to they've gotten a little bit away from play calling or designs for those type of plays, and the failure is that he's not using his speed. They've got to. Just like Gibbs, they've got to.
But is this a non-issue?
I kind of think it is.
That's not. Again, I'm not trying to turn this into an international incident here. It's not a big deal, but I just don't want to see them. Well, now we got to run an end around and a smoke screen and a tunnel screen and a mesh route, and if he doesn't get the ball, then we're failing him. Go ahead and fail him all the way to the Super Bowl. You know what I'm saying?
Well, exactly.
Punish teams only when it makes sense. I view this as, look, I hope he catches a touchdown this week. It should be more about, hey, coming out of the bye week, we're going to just keep running the offense to what the defense gives us because it's a pick your poison. And there will be weeks where J-Mo has 100 yards. Might not be this week. Might not be next week. Maybe it's Sunday night in Philadelphia. Maybe it's a month from now. Maybe it's on Thanksgiving. It's going to happen. Like, project confidence. It's going to happen. But we're not going to force him the football.
I agree with that. You don't do that. And he's got to keep defenses honest. That's his biggest contribution to the offense, I think, is maybe he's not getting open because they're keeping a corner and a safety on him. What's that open up for Laporta or St. Brown? That's why you see the
or Gibbs. Gibbs has been a big pass catcher this season.
Yeah, so he stretches the defense. That doesn't show up in the box score, does it?
No, it doesn't. And that's the other thing. J-Mo is an unselfish player. When you watch the way he blocks, the no block, no rock, I mean, he's taken to that. This team runs the ball. He embraces the physicality. And yeah, it's not like you see him running a deep route and then throwing his hand up in the air and pouting on his way back to the huddle.
And you see protection breakdowns happening quicker this year. Yeah. You've seen Brock Wright involved a little bit more than we have, especially last year. Why is that? He's being brought into the game to help block, but he'll leak out and that kind of stuff. Mm-hmm. So there's a lot to this, but I wouldn't be surprised that, the Lions have utilized the hook and ladder a couple times, and maybe that's something that's coming, like a short route to St. Brown and J-Mo comes flying off,
Well, yeah, I mean, J-Mo and Gibbs, I mean, the two things that they have in common is they're super fast, and it's so much fun.
248-539-9797. Let's get to Greg in Detroit. Greg, you're on 97.1.
Good morning, guys. It's always a lovely show. The fact that have not been using J-Mo to the fullest, now we're having this conversation. And not only are we having a conversation, but we're overloaded in the conversation. Now we're saying, well, do we have to do this or do we have to do this? And the only reason we're having this conversation because we haven't been doing this. Here's a one cylinder that hasn't been able to been utilized to explode in. And that's why I made the bold prediction that I made at the beginning of the year that I would figure that we would go undefeated because of what the coordinator stated that he's going to have a breakout year. Well, to me, that was a one cylinder that the Lions motor hadn't been using to the fullest was J-Mo. He's going to open to the top. When we played San Francisco a couple of years ago, he had 3 touchdowns. So we're not using J-Mo enough, and now that we're talking about it, now you want to over-accentuate that we have to use him greatly now. No, we have to use him, period. And that is why you guys are having a conversation and saying the words that you're saying, because we haven't been using it. And I'm not saying let JMO dictate the game. No, the defense dictates the game, but you have to get him in there more because he's
I guess
not
what I'm
getting
saying,
any younger.
well, no, okay, but what I'm trying to point out to people is it is a week-to-week league, and it's been a week-to-week league for JMO. So let's just snapshot in time. The last game he played, he caught 0 balls. He was only targeted twice.
Right.
Now, he did have the catch, and it was a push-off, but whatever. In the stat sheet, he's targeted twice. The week before, he was targeted 7 times.
Right.
Week before that, targeted once. Week before that, 8. So every other week, he's been fed a steady diet of targets. It's almost like week to week, situationally, he's going to be lined up for big games. And, John, maybe this is a big week for him based on the way the Vikings defense chooses to play coverage. Mm-hmm. But that's what should dictate whether JMO has 7, 8, 9 targets or a couple big plays.
And you're also able to, out of bye week, like there's a lot of great benefits of a bye week. One of them is players get rested, players get healthy. Another one is, like we had talked to Dan Campbell about, you get a chance to go back and review how are players performing? How can we better help some of these players? How am I performing as a coach? A lot of the coaches, in fact, 100% of the coaches are going to be a little bit introspective during that and say, what could I be doing moving forward that is going to be better for my guys? As a coordinator, what am I doing and evaluating his play calls? How could I be better? They have that time. This is some of that introspection that you're seeing.
Some good ticket texts. We got some good guys on hold. We're going to get to those phone calls next. 97.1.